mastering your talking skills, effective communication. We're going to look at strategies in this module. So let's start off with what's the role of communication. Now, the communication is all about enhancing relationships. It's about your communication style shapes your whole entire relationship with people, whether it be with your spouse, whether it be with your children, whether it be with people, work colleagues. Your style actually shapes the quality of your relationships. It can either make it or break it. You can either have good communication style where you're able to resolve conflict or cause conflict. You can be the cause of the conflict. So communication affects us in our personal life and in our professional life. And these are the types of things that I want to discuss as we go along. So the thing is this: when you're communicating, it's about using clear and simple language. No one's perfect. We will get it wrong. But the most important thing is to keep trying and looking for different ways of simplifying things as much as possible. Avoid unnecessary jargon. Yeah, you don't have to impress people with your words. You don't have to impress with, you don't have to be so polished with the way you articulate yourself. Just make sure that the person on the receiving end understands clearly what you're trying to communicate and there's no misunderstandings. And the way to do that is when you speak, you get feedback, you make sure that they've understood your point and you've understood theirs. And it's just a case of going back and forward, touching base, crossing reference with each other to make sure that both people are on the same page and have clarity. This is what communication is about. You don't have to be an expert in vocabulary. You don't have to be an expert in language. You just need to know how to connect. This is the most important thing. Yeah, and also stick to main points. You don't have to go round and round in circles with what it is that you're trying to say. Keep it simple. Keep it short as well. Sometimes you just got to keep things short. Straight to the point. Okay? All right. So the other thing in communication, mastering your communication, it's all about your tone of voice. Your tone and your emotion can cause miscommunication, or it can cause your communication to connect, depending on how you use your tone. Your tone can be low, it can be medium, it can be a high-pitched tone. You can say something in an angry and aggressive way just by your tone. You can say something really, really good, meaning to say something good, but your tone is probably incorrect. So it's important that you listen and be mindful about how you come across with your tone, how you use your tone of voice. I would say choose a moderate approach. Nothing too loud, nothing too low, just nice and easy volume. And be mindful about how you could be coming across aggressive. And our tone also tends to change depending on how we feel throughout the day, because we go through so many emotions, ups and downs, lows and highs, happy to sad, and we will communicate differently each time depending on how we are feeling. So be mindful of that, because your tone is connected to your emotions. Be aware of your tone changing. This is very, very important, because you may mean well, but you didn't sound good. So be cautious of that. The next one that I want to bring to your attention, it's all about effective questioning techniques. Now, what does that look like? Use open-ended questions, because open-ended questions help a person to elaborate themselves, which will minimize miscommunication. It's so important that you gain clarity through communicating, and the way to do that is ask questions that are layer deeper. Keep on going, not just on the surface level, but really get to the root of things if it's warranted. In some situations, yeah, you got the point, you've understood what they're saying, that's it. You don't need to question things further. But if you're unsure about things, keep questioning it until you're clear, and until you're both clear. And even if you got questions that you want to answer them, or they want to ask you, be open to it. Yeah. So it's about just practicing open-ended questions. What does open-ended questions look like? I like to categorize them into how, what, why, when, where, can, and do you think. You can ask any of these types of questions to elaborate examples, what it is that I'm trying to say. Sorry, I've got a cat behind me that's just jumped up. I do apologize for that. As I was saying, how, what, why, when, where, can, or do you think? These are essential questions that you can use in any situation, in any type of conversation. Even if you don't know the subject or the topic that people are talking about, by using these questions, how, what, why, when, where, can, and do you think, can be incorporated in any communication, any conversation with anyone, no matter, even if you don't know nothing about the subject. By you applying these types of questions, you can make your communication more effective, because you can come across like you're inquisitive, you can come across like you're interested, you can come across very intelligent by asking just questions. You don't need to know about subjects, what they talk about all the time, because in a gathering, people could be talking about so many different types of subjects that you may not be well versed in. But by you asking these questions, you're educating yourself, and you're coming across like as if you know what you're talking about, by just simply utilizing these questions. And you could be more inquisitive and gain clarity by applying these types of questions. Again, how, what, why, when, where, can, and do you think? So I'll give you an example. Let me elaborate a little bit more. How did you do that? What made you come to that conclusion? Why do you think that happened? When did it happen? Where did it happen? Can you do this? And do you think that's a good idea? Look how many things that I've just opened up by asking open-ended questions, by just these phrases: how, what, why, when, where, can, and do you think. You incorporate them into your communication style, and trust me, you will improve the quality of your relationships, because it's based upon your current communication style. If you're wondering why your relationship is not working out, it's not external factors. It's not. It actually goes back to you. It goes back to your communication style. Yeah, so be mindful about these types of things. It's about skilling yourself up so you can become that much more of an effective communicator and build quality relationships. Okay, and what I would suggest is this: commit to lifelong learning to improve your communication skills. Watch and learn how people talk. Watch and learn how people communicate. Watch and learn and listen how people communicate that makes sense, that are effective. Because everyone has their own unique style of communication, and we can learn so much from each and everyone. So be open-minded to improving your communication skills by learning and observing and listening to others, and taking the good from it and applying it to your own communication.